Hello, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Oot Cast. We are about to embark on chapter 53. We came a bit late to this one, I'll be honest. Mostly just life getting in the way. And also, quite honestly, I replayed this chapter many times, and I still don't feel like I've got a solid grasp on a lot of the subtext and potentials and density of information that is delivered in it. So, yeah. Here we see Diary waking up Ash as we launch straight into it. Now that the drama is over and Ash can be sentient once more.
That's right. And, well, look who
And
it is.
And there's Grandma Kay, who is now officially a member of the Ghost Squad. Ash talking to her. She now knows that she's dead. And Kay doing her best to help. Use the ring. Find him. Use the ring. Immediately catapults Ash into another part of the other side.
Puts Ash in the most complicated place that we have to try to explain now.
And Ash immediately lampshading, yes, this is a Hebe zone. Hebe zone.
And then Diary being
Hello, it's me, Diary.
a
Hi.
stalker, and then immediately disappearing once saying something.
What in the goddamn? Ash, I mean, this whole chapter is just Ash, just being Ash at her most Ashies. She is gonna get her senpai, and she doesn't want anyone to get in her way.
It's about time. It's, not like it took 50 chapters.
Yes, the amount of color theory stuff that gets washed into this chapter is epic. And we are in the subway! Sort of, kind of,
Well, I mean,
in a sense.
this might be the closest we get to the subway being relevant. I mean,
Yes, as she lampshades in that very line. You go back to,
yeah.
what, 3? Yeah. A subway that doesn't matter, it serves no narrative purpose. I'd recognize this place anyway.
Well, I mean, it's the entrance. I mean, there we go. It's relevant.
Yeah, and she's seeing CJ as he makes his escape.
CJ following the ducks up the escalator.
I'm here to rescue you. And CJ, while he does have his moment with Jamie earlier, is not yet ready to face.
And then
Well,
we get to see a flash
anything.
of the other
Yes, the aspects of
multicolored
CJ.
CJs that we'll meet in a little
Yes,
bit.
which are his various aspects, one would presume, that make up him being the chromatic. And Ash is not pleased. Get back here!
It's so funny to me because Anon, Souls Alone chapter.
Souls
There
alone,
we
and
go.
then Shadow says Souls alone, Soul being the name with 2 L's of the star that we see in this area. Now, we're about to get into something that's like there's a lot to discuss about what is what we are about to enter the other side. Is it a part of like the other side that's unique to Hebe? Is it a reality within the other side? Is it the future of the reality that CJ and Co are from? Like, there are so many possibilities here. I will touch on the ones I think are more likely, but please know that almost everything said is very much open to interpretation.
This chapter is great, by the way.
It's very
I
good.
loved replaying this chapter. It was so fun.
And Ashley is just raging
I
with
like
the
to think-
universe.
So I like to think, unlike Leah's arc, who she talked inside of her head the whole entire time, nothing is ever thought inside of Ash's brain. It's always fucking said. It's
Always a surface
always,
level conversation.
No, but
Pure
she
stream of consciousness.
actually says it all the time. She
Yeah, no, I
doesn't
believe
think it.
that.
She just says whatever she thinks.
Especially when she's
Instead
on
of
her own, at least. Maybe not when she's around people, but when she's on her own, I 100% buy that. Oh, she says as she
then
comes
we
up
get-
into Future Kamigawa.
Something to look forward to.
Maybe, although we know Kamigawa gets leveled per Tropicali, so maybe not.
It's not. That's not what it means. I don't believe it. That's total.
Well, they seem to have said it's like
misdirection.
Kamigawa's not there anymore. Neo
Sure,
says
but
noted as a survivor.
this is supposed
of
to
Kamigawa.
be, according to all the information we have in this chapter, this is supposed to be the end of time or something of the future. Of course, it's a version of Earth. Doesn't I mean it's the future at the very least.
It's
Maybe
the
not
future
ours.
of a Earth.
Yeah.
It's the future of a reality of a world and
Everywhere
Earth.
else is gone except all of America. Clearly.
I'm gonna let that one go because I don't want to bother engaging with it. But here we get dumped straight in, and already priority reception authorized, alpha level channeler recognized, presumably channeler being shot, human level channel required. This is the trying to interface with Ashley with the world.
Mm-hmm.
That she's now found
immediately
herself
detecting that she's actually purely human, and that she doesn't have any.
at least in terms of her ability to navigate the other side and exist in this place.
Well, I mean, look, it's like no compatible augments, no robot parts, no cyborg shit, no cyberpunk.
What Ashley is, but Ashley's in her spirit form. One might add right now, she's wearing her spiritual stuff. She's in her spirit form, so that seems to imply that this is either a place that's saturated in the other side or is in the other side.
Doesn't
or
I thought she said later in the chapter that the place made her clothes for her, or am I thinking about? I might be thinking about something else. It has been a couple days.
Yeah, we'll get there, I'm sure. But yes, the Hidaka archaeology on Hebe, which is on Hebe, Ashley, which kind of directly would seem to imply that we're inside Hebe right now.
Ashley not understanding any of that.
That was oddly cordial, yeah. And Ash working on, she doesn't really know that much. It's a little sus. Yes, it is a little
Well,
sus.
I mean, when you haven't been, I mean, look, I can't blame Ashley. Nobody fucking gives her any information at all, and then everything ends up.
Well, she doesn't
out,
ask for it either. She had, like, it kind of touches on Ashley's overall like emotional thing, is that she doesn't think that she can help, so she doesn't want to cause trouble, so she doesn't ask questions.
And Diary.
It's only very recently that she started taking up a more, starting to push things. Dang! And she's like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Oh, Sarah. There you go. There you are.
It's an interesting question whether this is genuinely Ashley being like her derp. Ashley's a bit like not the sharpest tool in the shed moment, or whether she is intuitively perceiving that the diary is Sarah, as she really is in a very real and intrinsic way.
I don't think it's that complicated. I think she just looks really like Sarah, and she's like, "Oh, you look like Sarah. Did you lose a little weight? She's not as big, and like." It looks like Sarah in a different
They
outfit.
do make an excellent pairing, though. Diary and Ash are just like... It's a great combo.
You're so funny.
You're my favorite color.
Two types of... I mean this in the nicest way. Two types of stupid.
Two types of airhead. The polite term is airhead when it
There
comes
we
to
go.
these
Yeah.
tropisms. Let's find Senpai so we can have fun with this PP together.
No.
Yeah!
I don't need that on the internet. We're muting.
And then
Rayze
Ashley really is like, yeah. See, these two, they're on the same wavelength, which should terrify us all. We're gonna fix this stupid situation. Yeah! No, we're getting ditched by other cool kids. No switchy cool kids. Yeah! Of course, my last sidekick. Anything. Who are we looking for again? And where are we? Who's Senpai? Are you okay, sir? I'm Dyer. Oh, you're Sarah. Is your brain stored in your thighs? Did you lose IQ from going on your diet? I don't have a brain.
I'm a fairy. There we go.
Technically true, yeah. Mood. And here comes K31, who is K, but the name also connects to Kieran, which also connects to being Crow, who is Crow 3 in 1.
I'll save you all the trouble. It's all connected. There we go.
It's multi-layered, man. So many layers. We have to dig deeper.
Yes. This is overly complicated, this entire chapter. It's on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, my personal take is that this whole chapter takes place in Hebe's pocket in Hebe's universe that she's been locked inside of, and it's a universe where the lines between spiritual and reality have blurred completely.
It's really interesting because this is obviously because later we're gonna see that when Ashley goes and looks for CJ, whenever she asks K31, she's like, well, I'm looking for CJ, and she's like, oh, so you're looking for a chromatic. Well, okay, well, we've got a couple of those here, right? And then it's kind of implied that it also could allow Ashley to go to the other CJs that we've seen, and the throne CJ that we haven't seen a whole lot of. But what's interesting is that if this is actually Hebe, that means that if this is either Hebe's pocket dimension that we've seen her the seal, that this is what this is, or this allows them to get into it. I guess this would it being a hub and this being her own.
It's the ring. It's the ring. It's Ash's ring. Once Ash's ring activated, it basically enables a backdoor connection, I think, into Hebe's power and to Hebe's universe.
Well, it would make sense that Ash could easily get inside of the sealed area, like
once the ring is activated, because up until that point, she had no active connection to her goddess, unlike the others.
And while I don't think it's really super relevant, I do think it's interesting that, like, it makes sense that, well, Hebe would have been the one to create that seal to separate her from the rest of the universe, instead of it being like, so she could get out if she wanted to. She chooses not to.
Yeah, maybe it went both ways. We don't know. It could have gone both ways. But yes, K31, presumably a digital entity, and it's not obviously not going to be a coincidence that it looks exactly like Kira in proportions. And with the visor, of course, which is a common thing on spiritual entities to wear.
Do you think there's going to be a lore reason for that, or do you think it's just style?
It's going to be a lore reason, 100%. We see it on Crow, more key stages. We see it on CJ in the prologue.
Yeah, but it's only on CJ and Crow.
Crow sees it. We have it on Crow several times throughout her.
Yes, but I mean, I'm not opposed to it being a lore reason. I was just more like, we don't see any of the other goddesses.
Yes, we see this hologram lady talking about how but the connection actually predates her ring going active. She was able to use it, but that presumably was because of the boost that Crow gave her.
Which she talks.
She does mention.
I think we get an option to ask her about that later.
We do. We'll talk about it a little bit, yeah. It's just reading that her visor goes red when she speaks of this section.
So this right here is what I was talking about. So, but I'm wearing my
but
other
she doesn't
costume.
actually. She doesn't.
Your
Kay
projection
doesn't
bracelet
address
is fully functional, and our power reserves are at your disposal. That makes me think that she generated the clothes by just thinking that this is what she was going to look like. But
yeah,
I mean,
but is that also saying?
It
could also, but could that be also just, or it's both? Like, if this universe is as degraded as the others say, has Hebe found a way to balance the other side, like saturating the universe while keeping everyone alive in it, in a fashion?
Yeah, I don't think.
Okay, so I know this is skipping forward ahead a little bit, but this universe is so old. There are no stars other than the one star, which is seemingly kept going through artificial means. So, for a universe to be old enough to be nothing but black holes and emptiness is staggeringly old. Like, trillions of years old. Everything has died except the star and this system. That's so old. I can't, it boggles the mind. So I mean, we know that Hebe has a particular affinity with technology, as established a couple of times now. So my guess is that Hebe has found a way to marry the spiritual with the technological, which is why we see everything being this combination of the two things. Like, they have souls that. But if you consider everything that K31 says through the lens of the spiritual, she could just be relabeling. Like she's treating the spiritual as science,
I don't
and
know.
the science.
I'm trying to think. I really wonder if it. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but I'm wondering if it's less important how Ashley's here, because at the beginning it was like, okay, it designated her as,
she's
okay, well,
she's
she's not
chasing CJ
artificial
through
at
it.
all. So if she's not artificial at all, that means it said that she was fully human, and then if she came through the other side and then appeared here in her other side clothes, and then she's questioning, like, wait, this place is real, why do I look like this? And then she's like,
But we also do
your
know
projectile
that
bracelet is fully functional, blah blah. So that to me makes it sound like, so Ash didn't fucking teleport when she knocked on CJ's door. She's still there. This is her soul connecting to this place. Maybe she just has. It's not. Maybe it's literally. It's the same body, but it doesn't matter because she's still back on fucking Earth.
Yeah. Well, the real question isn't really Ash's status here. It's the status of the place itself. Is this a place which is a physical reality?
I think it's.
Is this a place on the other side? Is it a combination of those two things, which is what I lean towards? Like, we don't know.
I do wonder. So hold on. If everybody, I'm not saying the goddesses are wrong, but like, assuming that they're telling the truth in that Hebe locked herself away and her behind the seal or whatever. I mean, it really seems like to me.
Or they locked her.
Or either or. I'm more inclined to believe that she locked herself away because she wanted.
I suspect it was probably both. Honestly, like she locked herself away and then they put more locks on their side of the door. She's just telling her that she's looking for CJ, who they interpret as being the chromatic, because it is. He's a combination of all 4 elements. Two other beings entered at the same time as you. One a mix of green along with amber, which is diary, and a chromatic. Definitely explaining why she's not in shock like that.
I didn't notice that part last time. That's hilarious. Just, oh, she's looking at the flowers in the plants.
Up there, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You have an open connection to one right now. See, that's the ring. So it's... While he isn't in our database of live mortals or uploads, the entry scan data from his passage through the sub-realm connector should be...
So you can find
and again, and Ash, this will happen multiple times throughout this. Ash will cut off K1.
Yes, we love characters that cut off important dialogue. It's wonderful.
Like super
Thank you,
important information. Thank you. Yes, so much. 3 matching spiritual signatures within the Hadaka archaeology and none present on the rest of the platform. So they're all bound to Kamigawa, this version of Kamigawa. With the 3. And then the 4th one, we see a very short glimpse of the 4th one later on.
Mm-hmm. Also, we didn't say anything, but also in the background we can see Hebe's full form being shadowed in the back on the screen.
teal and blue and green. Well, teal and green.
Yeah. Whoa, I can see your subtitles now.
He keeps leaning on the 4th wall again, damn it. That 4th wall's it's already got some holes blown in it. We don't like to crack the own foundation. See, that's another thing makes me think this is other side, at least parallel, because there's no difference in time.
I mean, it wouldn't. We don't have a good explanation. It wouldn't surprise me though that at the end of time, if the barriers between the physical and the other side break down to the point where it's like, yeah, you're in both right now. I mean, who knows? I mean, it doesn't make any sense that it would be 100% physical because Ashley shouldn't fucking be here then. But like, if it's 100% spiritual, but then at the beginning she's like, well, no, you're human because you don't have all this fucking stuff.
Well, yeah, but bear in mind, maybe Hebe makes modifications to the souls which lets them persist in the way that they do.
I guess.
And she still is. She is.
I find it hard to
she
believe.
Is projecting. She is projecting from her human body. That's the key element.
Me and my robot soul.
Maybe I can finally learn to use my powers as I want. How did we get here? I told you, you did it. Don't blame this on me. Ash presumably bound to CJ. She followed the ring as CJ, her ring connects to him, so she pulled on it and innately and instinctively pulled it. Like almost everything that Ash does.
I love this line. She said you scared him off, and now you're trying to find him. This place will lead you there somehow. Huh? She? Who's she? Her. Sarah? Yeah. But you're Sarah. Yeah. So why are you talking in third person? There's no third person here, silly. It's just you and me. Oot in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But you're Sarah. No, but you're Crow. No, but I'm Kieran. What?
But I'm all of those.
No, but I'm Masaki. But I'm not. But I'm not Sarah.
He's not on a spaceship.
Poor Ashley is legitimately trying to have a conversation, and it's like, so why is CJ here?
But
he's not.
This is what it's like. God, you just said he's here.
I said this place will
lead you there.
And where is there?
A beach place, which is CJ's pocket roll.
Yeah.
So I
love how the content, I love how this means that she knocked on the door, saw CJ, and immediately CJ was like, okay, time to go to my fucking beach house.
Let's book it.
I know.
I mean, he's still fucked.
I know. He's still fucked, and we still haven't gotten through everything. I'm not making fun of him, but it's just, and lots of traumatic shit, for sure. It's just really funny to me that, like, instantly sees Ashley, who he doesn't know if she's like the other three, all fucking goddessed out, and he's like, okay, well, it's over. Time to go to my fucking beach house.
Well, because he thinks they're all trying to kill him.
Yeah,
he's
I
got
know.
No reason
it's
to
just,
believe that.
I would. Nothing's gonna change if I go to my beach house. I'll still be in that exact same spot with Ashley in front of me, but instead, I'm just gonna go home.
So yeah, they're following the thread between the two of them. So CJ kind of bounced through here, or more likely that.
Well, this is
place
definitely
is able to
implied
trace
to be
the connection.
This is definitely implied to be the hub. This makes me think that every single time CJ hasn't walked through here and he hasn't seen it visually, but the way this is being portrayed is that this is the hub. CJ goes through here to get to his beach world every single time, even if he doesn't see it.
I disagree. I think that the escalator bit is a metaphor for transitioning through the other side. And when he goes up the escalator, as we see him do, that's him just going to his other world. Ash ends up here because she needs to use.
I'm fine with that. No, you know what? You're right. I'm fine with that explanation too.
Yeah, and then she needs to use Hebe's power to find him, and this is the place that she can do that.
And then we get a little bit of background.
This is interesting that this was built. And it's treated like a tourist attraction because the living and the uploaded, which presumably means living souls and then souls that are kept around after the body dies. Any sort of activity by the consciousness is rare. So when 200 years ago they suddenly ordered the construction of a supposed old Earth city, which is another word for Earth.
Which is just Earth. It's just, yeah.
Old word for Earth, yeah. And then... So, bear in mind how time works between the different places. Like, 200 years, that could be, like, something that was built because of the connection to Ash, and that resonated into here, and that's why this was built. We don't know. Like, they don't understand what it is.
Who is narrating here? Is this K? Is this K through?
I would presume that it's K.
Because... the way that it talks here, it was like it doesn't know.
He doesn't know. I presume that it's K.
Because
he hasn't directly
hasn't explained it. But then it's like perhaps it was simply a joke.
If Hebe even knows, like, there's some question as to whether Hebe's even aware that she's locked inside this universe and that there's more going on outside of it. Like, we don't know. Like, there is a little bit of one of the many mysteries that this chapter poses.
Yeah.
Fear of death is nearly non-existent. That's a huge thing. People don't die.
Unlike a lot of the other chapters, the problem with this chapter is the overabundance of fucking information that makes no sense. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
We've got given so much information that makes
fear of death is nearly non-existent. For these connections allow a conscious mind to be transferred from body to server to body again. Presumably that means that when a body dies, the soul is kept and taken somewhere to a server of some kind or equivalent, spiritual equivalent, and then allowed to be placed into a body again. So the soul never truly dies, and the self never truly dies. You just get a new body.
What's super interesting is later she says that, by the way, this happens almost always whether you want it or not. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't want to. It kind of happens automatically.
Yeah. Which to me kind of contributes to the idea that this universe is what's left of the original one that dates from when OG shattered, and Hebe has kept it going deliberately, desperately clinging to it.
Right. Okay, where do we want to just start from top down?
Top down, I guess, works? Yeah, top down works.
Because it's going to have us go back to... I think it has us come back to the mall.
It does. It does, because that's where we meet AJ. But yes, server selection confirmed. Who would you like to initiate communications with? K3.
Okay, hold up. The subway isn't relevant,
like
and somehow it's relevant now. But this is the same subway that I don't know.
Yeah, but she's seeing it as a perception thing, right? Like on the other, when it comes to the spiritual matters. Okay, go back. We have to pass all of this. You called it a subsister, whatever. Like you called it a subsister connectional transistor, a sub-realm connector, right? So that implies that this is a bridge that connects realms.
Yes, like a hub, which was kind of my point.
K3W. One Crow? Crow! CRO.
She must.
Yeah, CRO. She said CRO.
Yeah, CRO. And then I don't know any CRO, but her name was Crow. So
probably
fucking funny.
originated masking high levels of violet and gold, left-hand chirality. That's... Okay, so chirality, if you want to understand what that is saying, you can look it up, but I strongly suspect it's taken a very... It's the way it's used here is very similar to how chiral stuff is used in the Death Stranding series, which is one of the inspirations for it.
Of course.
And... but yeah, that's an even more direct reference to how Crow, as we know her, is very specifically of the left hand, you know, the passion, the fire, the emotion side, and is basically emblematic of the combination of Carpo and Kiona. So it appears that Crow's been connecting to here, or at least indirectly connecting or meddling with Hebe's power through it, in a sense. Her brief connection to validate your authorization. So that's Crow during the battle in Layers Arc, at the end of Layers Arc, to connect it. Preparations for your projector bracelet were added. I think it's 100% relevant. I think that's when she was, at least in terms of the time here, when she was born, and that's when she formed as a shard of Hebe in this place's time, 378 standard years ago. In her great wisdom, the CHP consciousness predicted your need and planned accordingly. So that's talking about Hebe doing that.
None alive, no. Why would you say that?
Right.
Nobody. No, why couldn't you just say nobody knows? A very sus language.
What does make you exceptional is the level of access she has granted you. Again, presumably talking about Hebe. Full authorization and an unlimited energy credit line. Which, again, I really feel like she's using technological terms to describe the spiritual here. Basically, it means that she gets complete access to Hebe's powers. With the widest system to ever know, they would assume you would chose. Can you imagine Ash as a queen ruling all? Can you? Take a moment to ponder.
Disaster queen.
Just like, I don't know, man. This is why.
How to doom the rest of the world, making Ashley as she is right now queen.
Oh boy.
And then immediately. Would your friends survive?
Yes, you do wonder if this is actually Kay sometimes.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, look, if this is the end of time, she'll be around here somewhere, right?
Depending on how things turn out.
Depending on how that works. Maybe the Ghost Squad gets fucking uploaded into the fucking Matrix at the end of time, and there you go. This is K. Theory.
It's like straight up,
so.
it's possible. Like I straight up can't rule it out.
I mean, for real. I mean, if the ghosts are still lingering around, why can't they get put in? I mean, who knows? Especially since she's still connected to everybody.
Yeah. But she's talking about how she can make stuff through her bracelet, which is pretty much just a symbolic, I think, of her power ability. Like it's how she.
I do find it interesting. So I can.
It.
The important part is I can make stuff with my bracelet. So stuff is very broad. Stuff could mean anything, right? And then she says, amongst other things, yes. So there's other things other than stuff that she can make. So what does that mean?
Now that you've been properly analyzed, maintain the clearest signal to your projector across any sub-realm you travel to. Which to me is her way of saying, yeah, it doesn't matter where you go now, you'll always have access to your powers.
Which is nice and great for Ashley.
Yeah. In other words, yes. It's just the way, sometimes the way she talks, K31, I mean, it makes you think, there's talk, we need to do talk again.
Oh, right, because we need to have to...
Diary, yes.
Oh, right.
You actually did it. Not even realizing you actually did it.
Well,
you fucking
man, that bleep was crazy.
That's a banning right there.
Yep, that's a crazy thing that
okay,
I just said right
you
there.
have to remember this place, diary. What place? Okay, Ash still thinking she's talking to Sarah, even though she is talking to Sarah, but it's not actually
the
Sarah.
subway.
It's
this is where you met Jamie for the first time when you came to Kamigawa, remember? Oh, I do sort of remember
that. I
that.
do sort of remember that. Jamie is really nice. She got her skin back. She was so pretty. Why won't anyone tell me what happened in the last day? I can tell you. Then why haven't you? Because you didn't know.
Oh my god. Ashley, I feel your pain. That ugly, scary ghost guy told him some stuff that was sort of true.
Sort of true. Yeah. Dude, what's fucked up is this is all accurate.
Dude,
this is all
so funny. Describing Grandpa as that ugly, scary guy that told him some stuff that was kind of true is so fucking funny. Because that's literally all Grandpa is.
Then she decided to tell him who she really was, which made him really sad. She wanted to give him all her love and power so he could be happy again, but she regained control of herself and told him not to do it. It's all accurate. And when she woke up at the cemetery, they all ran away from the scary gold and purple ladies. I think they were worried about the orange mommy girl and whether you'd be normal, but the bigger you with big boobies said you'd probably be fine. Thank you, Misaki. That all makes complete and perfect sense. See, this is why these two should never be left unattended.
There we go. This is... Diary is Ashley's personal spirit now. Will forever follow and give commentary.
No, it's too dangerous. Too much power. Fucking fun, yes.
And Ashley aware that
last,
CJ
Jamie gets dick down.
Jamie,
at last.
Yeah.
So where is he? In his beach house that he made for us. But you're special. You can find him and take care of him. Damn right I can and I will.
That's right, Ashley.
Okay, a sub-realm connector node styled in the archaic fashion of an ancient train station. That's why I think what I said was great. That this is a like metaphor for like connection between realms. It's a it's a liminal space. Yeah, so nations don't exist anymore. All contemporary humans are bound to their respective great consciousness. So that means that all human souls are linked in some way to Kione, Carpo, Orgzo, and Hebe and what they're most like. And in this universe, they go back to them when they die?
I find it so interesting to me that they still... So instead of virtually all contemporary humans are bound to their respective great consciousness, which
assuming these are goddesses,
but formidable.
A great consciousness being one of the goddesses.
The largest and oldest among them are Kion, Carpo, Uxo, and...
But there are others that are less.
Yes. But I do find it interesting that still the four are still referred to as human souls. So
well, if they exist and like they're made up of belief, right? In a sense, concepts, ideas, all those things originate from humans. So you could say that, in a sense, they are creations of humanity, at least in the sense that humanity gives definition.
I do wonder if
their
that's referring
various
to.
concepts.
I do also wonder if that's referring to the shards as well. When it
Could be
says
as well.
to-
Could be
that
both.
their-
Yeah, could
that
easily be both. Well,
their
think about it.
respective
If there is a CJ shard,
consciousness.
there is a
Yeah.
CJ shard that's present in this universe. So possibly a shards keep getting reborn, and then like they go back into their. Because I do think that it's likely that there are pieces of Orxo and Kione and Carpo in this universe behind the seal, separated from the rest of themselves.
Mhm.
Just
But it
like
seems
how
like-
Ash.
it seems like
and
everybody has
Misaki-
the language here makes it seem like everybody has a color associated with them.
with their soul, probably to do with their nature, one would presume, or what they
Yeah,
most identify
which
with.
makes sense, but that's very interesting that like because it says here, why would anyone devote themselves to a temporary assembly when they can see the color of their eternity on their wrist? So very interesting. Oh boy, who is this? Oh,
Gold.
yes.
But we'll do that after the talk. Is there anything else I can help explain? Oh, so many things.
Yes.
K31.
No. Thanks,
No,
Ashley.
fucking goddamn it, Ashley! Hey, so I can make like anything, right?
So, do you want to save your world? We could give you the medicine technology to do so. Hey, so I can make anything, right? I can make a fucking missile. Thank you.
We do prohibit creating unstable elements that will pose a risk to your safety, so you can't blow yourself up, basically. But you could like create the time, so I don't have to set a big cannon or a tank. Yes, though I don't believe you truly appreciate the scope of what you've been granted. Come on, say no more.
Because what's the point of making a what's the point of making one missile when you can make I don't know, the infinite world killing missile? Like it's just Ashley, you don't understand.
Yes. This section of the harbor will serve as its central communal
Or
commercial.
knowing Ashley, like Ashley wants to blow things up, but like if Ashley really didn't want to kill someone, it's like cool, I'm just gonna seal you away in this fucking bubble.
Just
Goodbye.
lock you inside of a planet.
Yes, there we go. That's the solution. Ashley locks every goddess and every shard inside of a bubble with her powers.
Alright. I think this is just a description of it through.
Yeah.
A slight gold power to those correct senses. Hebe isn't the only consciousness in the soul system, nor the largest, which is really interesting. Which says to me that this isn't all of Hebe's power. This place might be her universe, but it's not all of her power is concentrated, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's very weird because I don't know, it's led us to think that this is probably the universe she has sealed behind that seal, right? But like
Yeah.
the goddess in their like connections are still here, but for some reason the goddesses have no fucking idea what Hebe's up to. Like, so is this
Well,
not
there is
the
some
sealed
precedent.
area?
There is some precedent that different parts of a goddess don't know what the other parts of it. Like the knowledge of a shard only returns to the goddess when the shard dies.
Sure. No, I mean I know that.
So
I
if we
realized
take
you
that
look
and
in the top
extrapolate
right,
that
you
to
can see Ashley.
yeah. If we take that and then extrapolate that on a bigger basis, what if different parts of goddesses that go off and do their own thing, only when they return to the goddess's like main area, do they reintegrate that knowledge? Because that connects to the theory from our last episode that Omen very cleverly came up with. That
Why they're missing information. Yeah.
why they're missing information. Like maybe the parts of the goddesses that killed Cameron and stuff are the parts that
Which,
that
every single
Hayato
time we
used
talked
to
about
create
it,
Tsukiko.
it makes even more sense because it would.
Yeah.
I mean, it just explains why they don't fucking know anything about Tsukiko. A bunch of other stuff of like, why don't they know it? But they hate it. They can sense that she's made out of them, and they're
Yeah.
like, that's fucking
Like I said,
gross.
it's like a Frankenstein's monster thing. It's like witnessing parts of yourself being used to make another creature. It's horrific. The ship itself carries 27, but like all of the stuff described here
Yeah, it makes it
is
seem
built
like
on an
this is-
incredible scale.
Yeah,
Like, this
it's-
is even that like.
But what's even crazier is that, first of all, I know that anybody that's played the chapters probably noticed it, but like I love love all the pictures of Ashley just randomly around the city, but imagine like this popping up out of nowhere and you just see random pictures of this of just Ashley and not knowing who she is really funny. But the way that it describes it's like this is so fucking physical, specific details, like the connection between the other side and the physical here is very fucking blurred. It's not. It's very.
Yeah, that's why I think it's both. I genuinely think I genuinely think it's both. That is.
It has to be. There's no way it's anything else than that.
But here we get our glimpse of the first chunk, like CJ that she uses to find, which is the echo, I presume, of, Leia's LJ.
The perfect
with Leia's
version
theme
of
kicking
CJ
in. Well,
for
Carper's theme.
Carpo.
Carper's theme kicks in. I stopped her from jumping and the light returned to her eye. Did I make a mistake? But the thing is, these guys are just speaking CJ's doubts with regards to each of the girls now. It's not necessarily, they are parts of him, I genuinely think, who are, and this is just what he's like, what his doubts are.
I think you're right. They're just representations of what that part of CJ that was made and his thoughts on each goddess. Like that's all. Yeah. I would be very surprised if they become more important than that, than just showing how CJ feels about everything. Really.
She's a murderer. I mean, he's not wrong in all the things he says here, but like it's very Mara-like in that it's only the most negative spin on things. Which is very natural for someone who is obviously massively depressed, like CJ is right now. I just want
Come on, Ashley. Come on. Who do you think?
Went the way she chose. At what point should I find her culpable for her actions?
And it's not like he's being fucking like mean about it either.
No, he's posing. It's perfectly fair questions.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think it's the first time he's actually been able to properly verbalize them. Like, I think he's felt these feelings. He's just not been able to verbalize them until now.
Well, but it's like, it's because I mean, he loves all of them. I mean, it's not like.
Yeah, but that's the question, isn't it? Did he have a choice in that love?
What are you willing to ignore? Who is that?
That's Biana,
no.
aka Mika.
Oh, okay. I guess from just behind it looked different.
Yes, that's Biana, aka Mika, the Dragon of the East. And she's here with Alan, obviously, and of course, Alan being the one that shows up for the gold Carper ring, because that one he was in love with, and presumably his ring was even active. One would presume.
Yes, now she's gone.
But she is, she's passed. She's like, wrong floor, and then those two are like, huh?
Have they met Ashley? I can't remember.
No one's met Ashley from this group.
You're right. I think you're that's right. The mall. Should we come back to this?
We'll do the talking exam bit so we can just go straight into it when we come back. So diary, anything baby
Diary starting it. Are you
settling one of the questions that does get asked in the Discord from time to time? What are the various nationalities and ethnicities at play? But yes, Ash is a bit of everything. Kind of funny in a sort of vaguely ironic way that she has this very mixed ethnic heritage, while also like Evie's is very mixed in terms of all the power being shared and spread across multiple people.
Her hair is really blonde in the other side.
It's the lighting.
You think so?
And she's blonder when she's on the other side.
Yeah, I know.
It's both. A fox! Actually makes a lot of sense. It does. Yes. Dolphins are indeed mega horny. Mm-hmm. And yes, they fight, and yes, of course.
Oh,
the
I remember
cafes
this.
were
Yeah, this is the no humans allowed. No biologicals allowed.
Yes, the guy
Yeah.
joining and pointing at the
Sorry,
spoilers.
no organics, no organics allowed. Cyber smoke only. Yes, the
chart that we see
the 5 sigils and then the sword in the middle.
Yes, which we'll get a better look at later.
I love how when the chapter first came out, people couldn't see what it was properly, and everybody was like, "Is that Minecraft Steve?" Because of how blocky it looks. It's so stupid.
I think it got to the point where Anon actually had to post a proper picture of it so that people would stop. So
I feel so bad sometimes. I'm like, because I know I'm not right about everything all the time, unlike you. And I know I say stupid stuff, but like, I'm like, I hope I never say anything so dumb sometimes. I'm not making fun of anybody in particular, but I'm like, guys, come on. And this is just more explanation, over in depth. Yeah, not a whole lot to say other than this just explains.
I mean, there are some interesting points mixed in. That he be working whatever she's constructed it works very hard to maintain the humanity, or tries to at least, whether she succeeds or not.
Because it's important. I love that theme. It's with all this
absolutely.
Talk.
But the question then becomes: did she really succeed, and is holding on to it in the way that she seemingly does all these souls? Is that really for the best?
We'll find out in Oot 3. It's fine.
Maybe, he fucking knows.
And
I'll
of
probably
course,
be in the fucking
loss has been found.
The school is so big.
Yeah,
then
nobody
lampshading again that there's like, no one else. You don't really see anyone. The one guy that Vicky bullied in the prologue.
Hey, Anon, you forgot to change the title from Ashley to you.
Yeah. To be fair, in this chapter, there's quite a lot of Anon speaking through Ashley, I'll be honest. More than normal. Manual indoctrinating immortal youth will take place in Kamigawa.
I love that. The manual indoctrination.
The industrial revolution.
They were taught how to translate runes, of course. Ah, yes.
Many human children are still made biologically, usually in pods. Others are spun up in self-contained simulation units to create model citizens. It is one of the many quirks of Hebe that creating sentient life artificially is outright banned.
That fucking... Are they real? Are they real humans then? If they're fucking made like that?
Maybe not humans, but they're still
Biological
alive.
life must be made with old methods. Yeah.
Electronic life must be created locally.
Interesting.
Because of course, Ashley's goddess wants everybody to be fucking. Of course she does.
I think again, it's what you said earlier. It's trying to maintain that humanity. That's important.
I mean, she's the manifestation of a chase of ideas. Like, yeah, you need that human essence.
Literally.
Literally, dude. Majority citizen found clearing the street.
Evaporating everybody off the street. Goodbye.
Why is this place so weird?
Honestly, we've been asking that question for a while.
Yeah. I can recognize some parts of this place, but not others. Only the great consciousness will know why it took the form it did. Is it not accurate? Blue car I always
the blue car I always see here.
Don't question it. Don't question the blue car. There are approximately 7,500 people on the street. You just can't see them.
I wonder if they can see her.
Probably.
Look, it's the girl that has her pictures up everywhere.
Even those who would take a physical form here are usually renting a body that they've transmitted themselves into. So the soul could just go in and out. That's really interesting, actually.
Well, yes,
though.
because she says that there's 2 types of bodies, biological and then manufactured.
Yeah, no,
There's
but
2
that's
types.
not the interesting part to me. The interesting part to me is how that relates to Sarah getting a body and CJ.
We've already seen that that's possible. I mean, Jamie switches into Vic's body, and
yeah, exactly. But
like,
I'm saying that this is outside of Jamie, who is a very unique situation. So it's just really interesting to see that affirmed as being something that can be done outside of the things that we know already. Still where you left it, so her body is still back in.
Yeah, like I said, it would make absolutely no fucking sense for Ashley to get teleported here and instantly teleported back. It would. That's not how their world works.
Yeah, so that to me says that she is spiritually projecting here, but because she's still bound to a physical body, that's how she perceives and interacts.
Either, I mean,
here.
Again, I don't think it matters a whole bunch how she's here. It's just that she's here. Either they printed out a new body that's just like hers, and this is what she's running around in, and once she leaves,
or it is just genuinely her spiritual
or it's a projection,
body.
Or yeah, whatever.
See, they don't know what the other side is. If someone's so advanced, you'd think they would know. So it says to me that maybe the other side in reality is the same, like it's melded together here in a way that makes it work.
Yes, well, I mean, look, they're so far in the future that they talk about Earth stuff in different language that they just kind of dismiss it like it's old stuff. We don't need to know about it, and it's kind of like if you're born into a future where the physical and the other side are melded together, you wouldn't differentiate, and you'd go, yeah, this is just how things are all the time. Why
exactly.
would we?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
it's
because
like amber power.
The K31 doesn't know everything. It's just a, I don't know, robot or whatever you want to call it.
It's like some kind of assistant, like a virtual assistant,
yeah,
like a
I mean,
VI
sure,
from Mass Effect.
That's what it said it was, but it's like it doesn't know everything, so it's like it doesn't have access to all the answers, even though it has access to all the knowledge. It's like, but this is just how
it's only the
been.
knowledge that the entities here have accumulated. They obviously don't know everything.
Very hilarious.
Many mortals mistakenly assume that soul itself is the source of energy for the great consciousness, as it is the only true light in the sky. Do you want to bet that inside Great Soul, the 1 star left, is where Throne CJ is hanging out?
I don't know. I don't hate that idea, but the Throne CJ's area has been particularly dark, like purposefully so. Like he sits in a throne in the dark above a shadowed throne above a body with spears and swords in it next to a dark knight and his fucking demon girlfriend. Like I don't know. It's possible. I'm more inclined to believe that he's in his own little fucking universe. That,
who knows?
Like he's
depending on how it. I mean, we will see. Like we just don't know enough, really. I suppose at this point. The amount of power the soul system generates is fine. Interstellar star. So they're looking for stuff, and they're looking for more energy all the time.
Yeah.
You're the only light left shining. The question debated for 10,000 generations now has been why. And like I said, I suspect that it's because. Sorry. Yes, because
you know. Chapter for that.
Sorry, beg your pardon. It appears. My brain, lizard brain, kicks in. Yes, here's TJ. Teresa's TJ. And she's like, huh?
I don't really get it. I don't understand.
This is the thing, though, right? Like, this is one of the other aspects that we kind of like. Even if CJ is into the mommy thing, is he into it because of the pain and horror that his mother put him through?
Yeah, so this
and that Orxa is indirectly responsible for. Well, directly, kind of directly. Indirectly.
This is the thing that I talked about several times, which was the comparison between how everybody dealt with their goddesses, with Carpo and Leah like coming to a halfway point, which is why she seemed, at least in the two previous
51.
chapters, 51,
Yeah.
he was the most there
Even.
whenever
She was the least crazy.
CJ or TJ here, I guess, whatever, it says she had decisions made for her outside of her control, because my whole thing was, well, yeah, Teresa just went along with whatever Uxo did, and she's the complete opposite of Vic and Kyon, who completely rejected each other, like, fuck you, I don't want any of your stuff, right? Like, I don't want to take your power, I don't want to do a deal with you like Carpo and Leah did. And then Teresa immediately was like, of course, this is the plan how it's always been. We have to go along with it. So, very, very weird.
Little more nuanced.
And then unable to finish her sentence.
Well, because she's only getting brief connections, right? It's like pinging a sonar. It's only a brief connection. And here's Rodell. Please grant me the strength to afford compassion to those who need it. Being very knightly. And, yes, Bridget. God, can you imagine if Bridget, Diary, and Ashley were allowed to coexist? That it would be too dangerous.
It's got to happen, right?
No, it's too dangerous. We can't do that.
It's got to happen.
That degree of chaos unleashed on the universe is too powerful.
I feel fucking robbed. Which the answer to that question is yes, but
indeed.
And this is where I think we come back here. Yeah,
we do come back here. See, the radio antennas are interesting. I think that they are. The antennae it's their metaphor. Yeah. See, so Hebe's still looking for something. Like, this is the most, honestly, in some ways, I feel like this is one of the most important bits of 53.
Yeah, I mean,
so Hebe's looking for
the only one looking for a chromatic, which
and then
could be meaning Hebe, but to me, I think that's thrown CJ looking for other people, chromatics like him.
Or both. Yeah. It's not necessarily mutually exclusive. It could be both. And then you've got, if you get with in the examine discussion,
and then
do you hear him? Do you see him?
Do you see him?
With so. Even if she's accepted that he's dead, obviously not all of Hebe accepts that he's dead. Like, you can have like conflicting desires, can't you? Like, she obviously still craves finding him. She doesn't want to be alone, but like, because we know that even an unconscious desire from a goddess can manifest in a very real way. I mean, that's kind of half the problem, right? Like, it's particularly shown in with Kyone's arc, in Vic's arc, where Kyone's like, she's literally fighting her own nature. She can't control her unconscious desires itself. So she's literally fighting that to try to achieve her goal. There are no lights left. Do you realize how old they have to be? If no one, even with this immortality tech, has ever seen
it's the end of the universe.
But it's not ending. It's like it's ended and then it's still carried on, which just like is weird. It's just not right. Which is probably why it's considered an abomination by Orkson, because it isn't like an Elenath. Yes, Elenath. Best guess, pure guess, as brought up in discussion. I can't remember specifically who said it in the public spoilers.
It's clearly Elin Nin, and Sarah's gonna come and explain it to us.
I mean, okay, hang on. What if Elenath is OG's original name, and the name and the term Elin Nin specifically comes from it to describe his connection to?
Great theory, honestly. I don't have any problem with that. Could be. Very well could be. I think that's probably the best guess we're gonna get. I'm not even joking.
I mean, we don't know hardly anything about it, so it is just a guess, but it does feel right.
Especially with the whole, do you hear him, do you see him?
Yeah. Now this is a little bit interesting because, the lightning effect all around, where Cursed Girl likes to appear. Just a side note, but it is interesting.
No, I think it's relevant. I don't think Anon would do that without it being on purpose. I mean, I don't know. I think that's
between the eye-burning neon and dangerous Tesla coils. They are very Ash things. That's very true. It's very Ash. The power is the same kind as you.
That's what the blue see-through lady called it.
Green power and amber power. Ugh, man, we get a little bit of an explanation. Yellow and purple do not make red. Green and orange doesn't make blue either. It's more sense when you see it as a fair. So this is to say that the color theory here is that the colors are not. It's not about the colors themselves per se.
Yeah,
it's about what the colors represent.
Yeah, it's what they represent. Because obviously, if that was the fucking case, then blue and red should be fucking and super intensely connected to Kyon, and it kind of is, but not really.
Yeah, so that's a really important thing. When it comes to Oot color theory, it's not like a perfect one for one. It's just that you have like the colors exist as to represent specific aspects.
Giving us accurate political statements here as well.
Wow. Okay. I thought we were keeping this out of it, but if we're going to go full political with Oot, I can do that. Do you want me to do that?
No, because you would get too serious with it, and
How dare you?
And
How
mine
dare
was
you?
merely a joke, Mr.
Look at this.
I'm gonna type
evil...
10 paragraphs in the fucking Luigi fucking political chat.
I am merely politically engaged, unlike some people.
Yes, because I like to have fun.
But yes, destroying, but dragging us back onto the point.
I forgot that you don't like fun.
Ash and Diary talking about it, but this is one of the very few times I think the only time we've seen Diary be completely serious like this.
Fairies love to do this. Fairies love to do this shit. They love to be all happy-go-lucky. Like this, I know you didn't play Tropicalia all the way, but this is literally what
Leisha is like. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for saying.
Yeah, and then we see that with Sarah.
Yeah,
we see that with Sarah as well.
Yes, but
Sarah's
I expect,
like that.
Sure,
Crow specifically invokes it. Even Crow's like, we doesn't, he's not going to need the group isn't going to need the happy-go-lucky sex pet. They're going to need.
I disagree. With Crow around, why wouldn't we need that? I mean, you can be all that. You're both the same person anyway. It's fine.
But then, you know what? No, I'm not going to. No, I see the trap you've laid for me there, and I'm going to avoid it. But yeah, Diary is basically explaining the core dynamics of the goddesses right now, like how they exist because of each other, growth and change, destruction and creation, like all of this stuff, all of it. All the goddesses, even if they reverse their roles, it would still be the same, just with different people in the same people in different roles. It's just,
and of course, Ash
the cycles of existence.
I thought you're supposed to be stupid right now. But I think that that makes me think that actually Ash understood what she was talking about.
Yeah. Well, she's talking about very intuitively primal things, which Ash is not stupid in the traditional sense.
She's not.
Very, very goal-oriented and very emotional.
Well, like, Ash isn't stupid. I know the type of person that Ash is. She's the type of person that's, like, purposely oblivious. Like, she's not paying attention on purpose. Like, whether she's doing it
she very much does everything at her own. She's at her own pace.
She's not paying attention.
Everything's at her own pace.
She's not paying attention.
She's very much my pace. Yeah. Very much does everything and lives through everything out on her own terms and at her own pace. Such a maintained place. We must pick up and break into a modern person. All value the greenery and beauty of life, he being also most of all. Go back a couple. Go back to where they're challenging them. Perhaps so some doubt the authenticity of the free power node affixed at the center of this plaza, though who can challenge the memory of the great consciousness? That's talking about Cursed Girl and how she, once it's implemented, the mythological combat system, she will be handing out powers. That's how you give her motes of pride, and then she hands out powers.
Yeah, like I said, it's totally intentional. Why would that fucking be there if it wasn't supposed to be?
But it's really interesting that she manifests as lightning. Is interesting.
I mean, I'm just really thankful that Anon has specifically said, you don't need to worry about Curse Girl, you don't know anything yet. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like, she drives me a little
You could go
insane
around in
thinking about
circles
her.
on Curse Girl.
And I'm like, it makes, like, there's a couple things that I'm like, she would have to be, to me, she seems like she's somebody from the future, but who fucking knows? I mean, we know that a little bit.
She directly says that. She says that CJ hasn't,
I don't think it's this future, though.
No, I don't think so. But yes, this is VJ, Victoria's CJ.
Yes.
I would have given her anything just to see her happy. Why did she take it? I mean, well, this, like we said it before quite a bit since 51.
Yeah.
The interactions between CJ and Vic are now thrown into such a different light, and the weight of consequence behind that difference is so immense.
We still haven't gotten to see, because of the fucking goddess freak out, we still haven't gotten to see the fucking fallout from that. Ugh.
Like, Vic's guilt is going to be off the charts.
It's gonna be fucking over. Like, that's why I'm like, I really wonder if we're not gonna see Vic until her arc. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it's just gonna be Goddess Vic until we get to her arc to try and fucking deal with it, because, good lord.
But yeah, it's an interesting examination of Vic / Kione's attitude. And anytime I wanted one, she made it for me. Any choice. It's so very nihilistic and depressing. But yes, and then Ash pops in to see Baihi and Seema. And it's really interesting how Ash reacts to this. Seema also showing that he's much more aware of events that he's let on so far.
Well, because aren't they, I can't remember, isn't his time really slowed down to the point where, like, the rest of the group just
No,
keeps
he's the
popping
opposite.
up?
Well, no.
Yeah, no, because
his
time is slow, and then Alan's time is really fast, which is why Alan keeps getting older
really
fast. Their time slowed down, and they just keep popping up like every other hour or some shit. The time's a little bit different than that.
Yeah, but like it can't be over more than like a week or two or something like that. It's crazy. But you look like Sarah too, she says.
Yeah, all fairies are just fucking crow is an insane fucking idea.
I mean, I don't buy that theory personally, but I do wonder if because we know he's pretty unique as fairies go.
Yeah, tied to a specific location.
The connection. Yeah. The connection to the moon specifically, like he apparently abides in the moon before manifesting on the at that temple. Like it is odd. It is very odd.
And then the most important place, the fucking river.
The river.
Are you?
This is really interesting though. Because that's probably what it genuinely does look like to her, apart from like obviously the planet, but like the bright colors.
Great idea. Is that everything you see with like all this is just how it looks in fairy vision?
It looks like in fairy vision. Yeah. No, you can't rule that out. Imagine if that's the case. There's a freaking planet down. You're too attached to your eyeballs. Try using your fairy senses. You're super green. You should have them. Super green. I like having a human form, but you should try having a fairy form. Best of both worlds. Look at all these fairies.
But the goddesses aren't fairies, guys. Come on.
Well, they're not, but it's interesting that this world still has fairies, which is pretty cool.
Sarah, I think you finally lost the plot. I love Ashley.
That was 51, Ash. Come on.
I love Ashley comments because it's stuff that I would say. It's so funny.
She is kind of like the snarky like side. Yeah, she kind of does embody that, doesn't she? Where you're just kind of like cutting through the bullshit. Interesting that she identifies the uploads as fairies, though, to Diary.
So yeah, it's very interesting that she says, if not for her origin, I would assume she was one, referring to Diary as.
So it makes me wonder if
the uploads are fairies. Maybe some of them are.
Yeah, they could be, or maybe this world is so advanced, and the combination of the technological and the spiritual has reached a point where it's like you can change your state between, because they're just, I think Sarah says at one point they're all just souls at the end of the day, right? So
how they were, I think it's the origins that affect what you, because it's, if all souls are the same, then the distinction of, like,
if we consider the souls of the base, like if we consider
come from nature in particular,
like it's the so souls can, like, they it's the flavor of the soul, if you see what I mean.
Yummy.
Living in a simulation or something. No. Well,
no. I love this. No, you are not.
With Crow's red, I might add, for the visor when she says that.
It seems like she gets it happens whenever she gets a serious question asked from Ash.
Yeah.
Even
the
if
realm
she
you
says
originate
it in
from
a
is as
joke.
real as this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think we are in Hebe's universe right now, like, and it is real, but the spiritual has like overlaid it to such an extent,
and then
the difference is.
Yeah, and then she even tries to imply here that, like, the signature is so similar to ours, they may truly be one and the same. You may be only separated by time, because she doesn't know, which is super interesting to me, because
bear in mind that
the
thing is,
the information that she has, I know that she doesn't have all the answers.
This habitat,
even with all the information she knows, she doesn't know if
this
is the same
this
world
habitat
as
has only existed. This habitat has only existed for 200 years, which is like a tiny fragment of the existence of this place.
Sure, no,
so
I agree. Yeah,
it's not like, and it's built as an exhibit. It's not like Kamigawa lifted into the space and like preserved. It's fake. It's an artificial recreation. So that to me says that this isn't the far future of like CJ's world. I think it's a similar world, but not the same one.
Yeah, with the Oot, like the way that Oot logic works, there should be a plenty of universes that are just like CJ's, except CJ is specifically and particularly unique. The world could still exist and be exactly the same. CJ just isn't it.
I mean, exactly.
Happened.
Like if you remove CJ and the Goddess Shards girls and all that stuff from the equation,
the world should be the same. Although I guess not. No, well, I don't know. It depends, because Grandpa really affected the world a shit ton with him making everybody immortal. So.
Yeah, but I suspect that that's not the first time that Orxa has done that. Like, it seemed to be a part of her process, right? Like, she describes the way turning the wheel, that she's done this many times.
It's definitely possible. She said, I mean, she never says that she does, but she doesn't. She doesn't. I do find, because that would. But she does that,
and that would
to
explain
try
it,
and
so.
get to. She does that, and then that's what causes CJ to actually live long enough to.
I mean, she implies that she's turned the wheel quadrillions of times.
Yeah. I mean, sure, I'm willing to say that she's done it before. Who knows?
Right. Yeah. But CJ being so unique is because of circumstances outside of Orxa herself. She's a key element, don't get me wrong. But it's the combination of circumstances which has created
especially
CJ.
With how frequent, since Uxo is the most frequent shard.
Yeah.
That appears.
Because she spread herself so widely using her karmic threads, right? She doesn't have to physically be present on a world to influence it anymore. She never has. She could do it through the threads. Faint blue and red power.
Yes, I do find it interesting how blue, like, I don't know, blue is so very not talked about a whole lot when it comes to Oot theory stuff, because I know that it's part of Hebe, but like it's not just regular blue.
We haven't had it talked about much yet. We hear quite a bit talking about green power and how it's like the colors and stuff. But we haven't seen much.
There is no representative for blue, because Hebe's is teal. Like it's not regular.
It's the combination of blue
and
green,
again, I know we just had a conversation about colors not mattering a whole lot in terms of visual, but like there's no representative. It's very weird. I thought
apart from Sarah herself.
Yeah, we don't see it. Yeah, it's literally. Well, I mean, again, there's no representative for red other than it being fucking Crow, so maybe it's just a situation of like it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Crow is the most passionate. Like
I'm more of
her emotions are the most potent.
Well, sure, but the visual of the red is what I'm referring to.
Oh, I got you. I see.
Like, so we have a representative for most of the colors in everything, and
combination of colors now.
Yeah.
Especially if you look in work in progress currently.
Yes, you should all go make sure you sub to Story
54.
Anon so you can look in story progress.
See what we're talking about.
Or, you know, use your brain a little bit, but like people.
So
would do
limits
that.
on physical. See, look, limits on physical reality still exist even here, but none may prevent one from dreaming. Who then dreamed of us?
Great questions. And back to the
So
mall.
Back to the mall, and we get to the. This is the closing in on the ending scene.
That's right.
Wow, that's some harsh lights, and
Yeah,
even like Ash is like,
I am trying to skip past it.
And look, we get the glimpse of AJ with a piece of music that's usually associated with the antagonists, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So
No insight at all.
nothing.
So this
Because
is
because
so
yeah, because it's
let's
my
take a
guess
look at
there
this
is though
area
before
here.
we go. Yeah, before we go any further, my guess of the reason why AJ is such a tiny echo is because of the amount of heat power that went into making CJ is that small. It's tiny but essential.
It's just
right?
CJ with different clothes on.
They all are technically.
I know, but they look a little bit different. But yeah, no, you're right.
So that's why I'm saying that AJ is such a tiny thing. Like we only see him for a tiny flash because he's nowhere near as fully realized as the others. Because the amount of heat power that's gone into the creation of CJ is very small, comparatively speaking, compared to the others. It's there, but it's very small.
So let's take a look at this because we talked about this a little bit ago, and I totally forgot that we actually do get to see some details here of this like
Yeah, it's a
church-like
building,
area.
and there appears to be stuff outside, trees. And then we see the throne with green spears and swords stabbed into a figure on the throne.
If the color is important, it's not the same green.
No, it's lime-ish green.
Violet and
Pink,
purple.
like magenta. But no, that's a magenta crown, and magenta is the color of CJ. So
yeah,
I kind of presume that that's like symbolic of how this CJ kills all other CJ shards.
Swords and spears and yeah, I know. Like a throne above absorbing its power, sort of thing. The knight, protecting it.
That's
to the
my
left,
interpretation. Yeah, that's my guess.
but not next to him.
And then you've got the guards who are like, almost like they're guarding a prisoner rather than they, honor guard.
Clothing is interesting too. You can kind of see the outlines of
A little bit.
Because
And it's very generic though. It's very generic. It could be
sure,
almost
because it doesn't
anyone's
have any actual
definition.
color,
But that's the point. Like it could. So if we so one of the theories we've got is that this throne CJ that we're about to see, he kills other shards to absorb their powers.
Which is what I think happens to fucking Alan.
Yes.
The infinity or the 8.
Yeah. It's infinity. So it's like, oh look, we've got someone here, and this is him. Presumably, this is his Sarah.
We don't get to see rings on this guy at all.
We don't. I do think he probably only has the one, is my guess. I think he only has the heat ring, but that's just me.
And then a new fairy character, we assume.
We have a companion of some description.
And then very interesting coloring here with the green and then
We have the teal colors, with the teal colored red, and then the amber eyes.
Yeah, amber eyes.
And pinkish eyes on him, actually. Yeah. Mine is sparked by comparison. What say you? Are you capable of rousing anything in me? And Ash doesn't even react. She's just, no, gone.
Well, because from her point of view, she didn't meet anybody else that she met, and so then it's just another guy. But we know that because we've seen all them before, and if CJ saw him, it would be different.
CJ saw him, and CJ mentions him as well to the others. We get a little bit of dialogue before they head off. And here we go. Going to catch up with CJ.
And knock some fucking sense into the man.
I mean, if Jamie I have mixed feelings. I'll be completely honest. I have mixed feelings about how Ash handles CJ right now. But I feel like the charitable interpretation is that Jamie gave him the love he needed, and Ash is about to give him the tough love he needs. But I'm very cautious about tough love because, man, is that used as an excuse for abuse in so many cases. So I admit it fully to my own biases here as to why I feel a bit weird about it.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. I do feel like it is interesting, though. I probably would feel more along your line of thinking if it wasn't Ash.
Ash, yeah, I have said as much
Yeah,
in the chat
like
before.
I
That it's
do think
if
that it
yeah,
being Ash in particular, I can't think of anybody else that I think could say the things that
yeah.
Ash
If
does and
it
the
was
way that
coming
she does
from, you know,
without
if it
it
was coming from
being
Vic
like you're worrying about.
or yeah,
Yeah,
like
because
if it was
Ash
coming
doesn't
from
do
Vic or
that.
Jamie, but
The-
yeah.
I mean, she says
Well,
it in a
Ash is
way
so
that she
earnest.
always does that. Yeah.
Ash is so earnest and so pure that and her love for CJ is so obvious and strong that you can't really feel like she's doing it out of like a getting at it way. She's
Another
genuinely
thing
frustrated.
Another thing to note is that K3 doesn't understand why those three, like, she saw the other CJs and still didn't understand what they were about and was hoping that Ashley had
Yeah,
the
well, she
answer.
probably doesn't understand it. I mean,
She-
CJ's existence is unique even by the standards of the goddesses, right? Which, considering how staggeringly old they are, that's saying something.
And then Diary being like, "Do you think he'll like me?"
She's just being really
Interesting
like, just so pure. She's so pure. Pure sex on legs, but also pure. Interesting that of K's colors fluctuate from teal blue to green to blue to red. But yes, what's left of CJ's pocket world that don't have no sky, because of course you remember it was being destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, did you really think all those were stars?
He can't go a chapter. Like, he can't go an episode without saying
It's a
it at
great
least
joke.
once.
I love
It
it.
is a really good line. Don't get me wrong.
It's a great line. It was really impactful when it happened, and now it's funny.
But this is Jacob / CJ. CJ right now, like, just if you're gonna kill me, just like he's at the
Well,
end.
like I
he
said
thinks he's
earlier,
good.
like she knocked on his door, and immediately he was like, "Well, shit, you're not supposed to be here. Time to fucking leave." And then immediately she
Well,
finds
and
him.
that's also kind of what Jamie said to do, right? It's like stay here and then book it if you need to. And Ash is like, I'm a bit peeved, but she handles it quite maturely, at least at first. Like she doesn't snap at him completely straight away. You're my senpai, and I just want to help you. If you don't know, you will. This is CJ full doomer right now, like, you know, just depressed, maximum depression. You want to talk about it? Nope. Okay. And Ash is like, well, I forgot Sky. I broke it. Skydad, like, yeah, Skydad died. And he probably blames himself for that too.
Yeah.
The sky broke. God. Thanks, Anon. Super subtle. They killed my father in this. He's seeing himself as Jacob right now. We don't know how true that is at that point, but
I mean,
understandably, he thinks that right now.
I feel like this is just him trying to figure out. I mean, really,
Yeah.
it's what
we
you
don't
talked
know.
about.
We don't know. I do think
I
that his.
think I can. You're right. We don't know, but I'm of the opinion that he's really not just Jacob. He's not just. And truth be told, he's whoever he wants to make himself be at this point. But
exactly,
like,
and that's the whole point.
we've
that Jamie
seen
makes
actual
of him.
Jacob. We've seen actual Jacob, and it's not him. I mean.
But this is how he sees
how he
himself
is.
right now.
Yes, right now.
This is how he sees.
Correct.
And I think his name will go back to CJ once he starts to really fully self-actualize as himself, rather than seeing himself as a puppet, and now currently seeing himself as Jacob. They each wanted some perfect partner, no matter how stupid it was. And this is totally understood. This is his anger. If you really think about it, he's going through almost the stages of grief
Ashley
right now.
got the bare bones explanation,
right?
Because she never got the explanation as to what Grandpa was like. Whenever she asked Diary, she was like, "What happened?" And she didn't explain what he was kind of right about. This is what she's just finding out now. Right, again, it's not the whole truth.
Can't be the whole truth. And it isn't. And she's right. She's totally right to call that out. But it just shows you how good a job Hayato did of screwing CJ over, that he's pushed him this far down.
Hey guys, by the way, chapter 50 plus, Hayato's still a villain, but he's not the main villain. Fucking something to think about.
Why? Why do I always? I mean, this is a really natural question to ask in this current situation.
But
or
I think
any
Ashley,
hero.
I think Ashley has a really good answer though.
She absolutely does. She does, yeah.
Because
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of everyone. I'm sick of you. Oh, that's gonna cut deep on Ash, like. But, bam, low tier Ashley moment. But it also is what pushes her. Well, listen up, shithead. They didn't have a choice in any of this. And she's right. They didn't have a choice either. If we don't do something, maybe more people are going to die. Did they choose to be part of this garbage? No, just like you.
Yeah, which
But
she brings up the best point, which is like, can they do anything about it without you? No, you can. Which it sucks to be you because you're the only person that's able to do it.
And he's
but,
free
like,
now. He doesn't. He explicitly he was a puppet. He's no longer a puppet. And even then, we outside of the game know that the degree to which he was a puppet is up for discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and especially as time has gone by, like, yeah. So, like I said, I have some personal qualms with how Ash delivers this, but she is still saying what he needs to hear.
Because, like, in some fucked up way, it's like, okay, so Ash hasn't been involved a whole bunch with the story. CJ's being forced to go along with everything, even if we, like, I don't fully agree with that, but, like, just saying it for the sake of CJ's being
at least
forced
that's how
to
he
do
sees
everything
it
himself.
at this
It's perfect that she's the one that says that to him, because she's like, do you think I've been wanting to be dragged along with this? I don't even fucking do anything and the consequences still affect me. Now I'm finally able to, deal with my stuff.
Just to throw it in there, I know some people think that this is Ash using her powers on CJ in like a puppet. I don't think that's the case. I think I don't think that's the case, because the moment the power she uses is when she gets angry. And it's at the end here only that CJ changes.
There is very visual indicators when Ash makes a wish or a command or wants something to happen and it happens. And the only thing that I think maybe you could make the argument for is whenever she has the lightning eyes. But like, but she doesn't say anything during that. She starts explaining things, and then at the end,
I do think that's just her emotions, because her powers, even more than the others, her powers seem to be tied to her emotional state. So that is literally just her losing her temper a little bit. She's just like, why I order? But she doesn't. She lays into him, but she isn't like mindlessly angry about it. She says what he needs to hear. Yeah, see, and he chooses to be something else. That's the key thing. Like, Jamie got him to the place where these words could actually have an impact.
Right, correct. And I especially, I'm not trying to like foresee the future here, but like I especially don't think it's her controlling him, because otherwise I don't think it would have worked very well. And I don't think that the fact that we're not even at the lowest point yet for him.
Okay, let's
we
humor
haven't
it for
even
a moment.
begun to solve all of his problems.
Yeah, for sure. But let's humor it for a moment. Let's say that because they haven't reclaimed Hebe's power on the world for Tsukiko, that the string to Hebe is still intact. That string is going to be absolutely infinitesimally weak, because the influence of Hebe on CJ is infinitesimally weak, as we see with the lack of Ashley, CJ, AJ appearing so fleetingly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a really key moment. We should probably go back a little bit because we can't talk over it.
Sure.
CJ stands up. He actually stands up. He stances up. He actually almost stances up in a way almost reminiscent of when he's doing one of his more bravado moments. Like the way he sets himself. And although it's in a much more shy way, he's now affirming that he's going to act and do things again. And it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out, like as a balance between his old personality and then his original personality pre what happens in the early parts of the game. Because like Jamie says, she was always in love with the guy he was before he changed. Before America. So, it's going to be really interesting to see. And then he goes home. And it's really important that Ash is the one that brings him back, I think. Like, that's super important.
I just keep thinking back to the whole fucking power chart thing that Anon made, where he was like, there's a reason why her arc is last. And I'm just wondering, because now she has the power of it. Like, she can tap into the infinite power of the future fucking world.
And Hebe's not shattered and fragmented like the others, or at least nowhere near the same extent.
No, because it doesn't seem to
because she turned away.
Yeah.
Yeah, she turned away. Like, she turned away. And then she was probably locked behind the seal on top of that, which made it really hard for any things to... Like, the only reason I suspect Kay and the other shards of Hebe manifested was because Cameron was a four-ring entity. And the pull was that much more massive as a result.
What a great chapter.
Yeah, good chapter. Average length, lots of density of information. I know we probably barely scratched the surface, and I'm sure many of you have
because we didn't really... No, because I think we purposely didn't touch on the specifics of how that world works, other than the basic stuff. Well, no, because we could be sitting here for hours talking about, like, okay, so why is this how this works? And they gave us an excess of information, which I'm interested in, but like, I don't feel like it's super relevant right now.
It's going to get explained more going forwards, I suspect, as well. Like,
to me,
as is often common with these arcs, the first couple of chapters of a new arc, like the first chapter after the end of one, is usually a bit of a post-mortem. And then the ones immediately following that are usually like lots of questions are posed and things are set up, like we're still learning things, so we're still very much in that phase.
I do feel that most of the information we got that we didn't expressly cover was mainly just it trying to give us the setting of why things, like, where is humanity right now. And I don't know, I'm interested in that stuff.
I mean, the big stuff, like, is this
relevant.
the future? Yeah, like, it's not, and it isn't yet. Maybe it will be in the future, but we'll see.
You're right. We don't really, like, the Oot story doesn't really like care about that a whole bunch, like, because we don't really like, because Anon doesn't like to do the future time travel stuff a whole bunch, which is
his time travel has pretty strict rules. That's the key element,
which is good.
Which is how it should be. You can't have time travel without strict
alternate
rules.
Dimensions, though.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we already have plenty of precedent for those. Like, you know, that's the whole point of the conversation between CJ and Alan early on in Jamie's arc, where they're comparing their two worlds, and like they're similar, but they're obviously still also quite different.
Luckily, though, we won't have to wait very long, because next chapter's coming out
literally a few days.
In a few days
until chapter 54 for us. Yes. Just due to our delay in releasing this one. So I hope, ladies and gentlemen, to see you back again for when we do chapter 54.
Absolutely.
It has been fun once again to come back to it after these sort of self-imposed accidental hiatuses.
It's been about a month. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
And yeah, I hope to see you again for the next chapter and the next episode. Wishing you all the best.
Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.